All right, so we have a test tomorrow, and this is our practice test. The test is going to be similar to this. And this was your e-learning assignment yesterday. I gave everyone a worksheet. So even if you had problems with your Chromebook and it didn't work, you could still do the e-learning assignment yesterday. You had all day to do that. So that's what you were supposed to do. Now, let's go over the answers to make sure you're ready for the exam tomorrow. It will be on Mastery Connect, and I want to make sure that you're ready for it. Okay. In problem number 1, first of all, it says translate the verbal sentence into an inequality. Do not solve. Okay, so in number 1, -2 plus a number is at least 4. Now, they did not tell you to use a specific variable, so I just used n. On the test, we'll have to read carefully. I haven't looked at those parts of the test to see if they tell you to use a specific variable. If they don't, you can use anything. All right, any questions on that? At least means can it be 4, yes, or bigger. So that's the sign you should use. In number 2, 2/3 of a number, 2/3 times n, is less than 4. That one's pretty easy. Number 3, the product, that means we're going to multiply, of a -2 and a number is at most -9. Can it be -9? Yes, or smaller. -9 is the biggest it can be. So when you do these, if you can't remember what the symbol is that you're to use, talk to yourself. Ask yourself those questions. 4 exceeds 2 times a number. Now, another way of writing that, 4 exceeds 2n. Both of those are correct. Okay? Just like for this problem, if you had -9 is greater than or equal to -2n, that would also be correct, okay? Now let's go to number 5. The sum of 5 and twice a number is fewer than the opposite of 6. All right, a lot of words in there. Sum means add. 5 plus twice a number is fewer than, it's less than, it's smaller than. The opposite of 6 is -6. Any questions? On the next one, 12 times a number, 12n, increased means you're going to add by 4 is less than 20. Any questions on that? Okay. Now, let's go to the next section. In this problem, the first thing you're going to do is subtract 7. But since we have negative numbers, you add the opposite. Okay? So, -3x is greater than or equal to -12. Now, you're going to divide both sides by -3. And you have to turn or flip your inequality sign. X is less than or equal to +4. Any questions? And the answer, close circle on the 4 going to the left. Any questions on that one? Okay. In this one, combine your like terms. 10x minus 5x is 5x. It's less than or equal to -15. To undo multiplying, you're going to divide both sides by 5. X is less than or equal to -3. Close circle going to the left. Any questions? Now, since we divided both sides by +5, you don't flip it. It's only when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. Number 9. In this problem, to undo dividing by -4, we multiply both sides by -4 and you flip your inequality sign. X is greater than -92. Open circle on the -92 going to the right. Are there any questions? All right, number 10. Use the distributive property. Get rid of your subtraction signs, though, before you distribute. Negative 5 times y is negative 5y. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Okay, so we are on number 10, and we distributed. You have negative 5y plus a positive 15 is greater than 60. Subtract 15 from both sides. You get negative 5y is greater than 45. Divide both sides by negative 5. Y is, flip your inequality sign. Y is less than negative 9. Open circle on the negative 9 going to the left. Any questions on this page of the test? Great. Let's go on to the next page. In problem number 11, combine your like terms. 12x minus 3x gives you 9x. It is less than 63. Divide by 9. X is less than 7. Any questions on that? Open circle on the 7 going to the left. In number 12, we have to distribute, but before we distribute, we get rid of our subtraction signs. 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Add 21 to both sides. You now have 14x is less than 14. Divide both sides by 14. X is less than 1. Open circle on the 1 going to the left. Any questions on 11 and 12? All right, number 13. Add 5 to both sides. You then have x divided by 2 is greater than or equal to 16. Multiply both sides by 2. X is greater than or equal to 32. Close circle going to the right. Number 14, this one is very easy. Subtract 7. Now when you subtract with integers, you add the opposite. So negative 17 plus negative 7 is negative 24. That's probably the hardest part on that one. X is greater than negative 24. Open circle on negative 24 going to the right. Any questions on 13 or 14? Okay, number 15. Combine your like terms. Add the opposite. 6x plus negative 1x is 5x. So we have 5x plus 6 is less than or equal to 1. Subtract 6. You now have 5x is less than or equal to negative 5. Because when you subtract 6, you add the opposite. 1 plus negative 6 is negative 5. Divide both sides by 5. X is less than or equal to negative 1. Close circle going to the left. On number 16, subtract 4, which means you add the opposite, giving you a negative 18. 6x is greater than or equal to negative 18. Divide by 6. X is greater than or equal to negative 3. Closed circle going to the right. Any questions on 15 and 16 or any of these that I just finished on this page? Thumbs up? Doing okay? Yep. All right, let's go to the next page. Number 17 was tricky. And you have to think about it in the way of a profit or making money. So it says, define a variable. You have to do that. Write an inequality, solve, and show all work. Label your answer. On the test tomorrow, make sure you label your answer. If you don't, I will have to take a point off, because on the last test, the equation test, if you didn't label, you're going to have a point taken off. So I will take a point off on this test if it asks for a label and you don't give me one. Okay, define a variable. Well, the Good Earth Recycling Center pays 50 cents for each pound of glass that is turned in. They also charge a $3 fee to recycle. If Sheila wants to make, that means she wants to make a profit of at least $60, how many pounds of glass does she need to turn in? I use the variable X, and it represents pounds of glass. Okay, my inequality. This is what I wrote. 0.5x, or 0.50, 50 cents times x, is greater than or equal to 60 plus 3. Now, why did I add the 3? Because you have to add $3 to $60. You have to make more than $63. Now, another way you could have written this would be like this. If you had 0.5x or 0.50x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 60, that will also give you the same answer, okay? So you could have had this or this for your inequality, okay? Then you would add 3 to this side, and that's how you would get 0.5x is greater than or equal to 63. So do you see how we're right there? Then divide both sides by 0.5. X is greater than or equal to 126 pounds. Now, if she, let's see, she wants to make at least, so she can make $60 or more, so that is correct. Nathan, you have a question?
Well, I did it like this. 0.50x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 60 minus 3 minus 3. 0.50x equals 57 divided by 0.50 divided by 0.50.
All right, so I'm glad we have a better understanding on number 17 now. Let's go on to number 18. And these are the ones that I hand grade, so there's more than one type of inequality, like we saw even in number 17. There are a couple different ways to write it, so make sure when you do these on paper, you do it nice and neatly so your teacher can quickly grade them. I want to compliment you on doing such a nice job on your equation test. It was easy for me to grade them and give you your points, so you did a very nice job. I was very pleased and proud of you. Number 18, Carter wants to spend at least $25 on a new shirt at the mall. He has $12. How much more does he need? Well, I'm going to say I use the variable M equals money, how much more money he needs. Inequality. 12 plus M can equal 25 or be more. He's wanting to pay a lot of money on a shirt here. So, well, $25 isn't that much nowadays, but he doesn't want to spend less than $25. He's not going to Dollar Tree to buy his shirt. I can tell you that. He could buy, well, now it's not $1 at Dollar Tree anymore. It's $1.25 for everything. Let me finish this problem and then I'll subtract 12. M is greater than or equal to 13. He needs $13 or more for his shirt. All right? Now, let's go on to number 19. Now it says this one could be worth 7 points. Let's look at what the things are for 7 points. Define the variable. Well, it cost Felicia 20 cents to send a text message from her cell phone. Yes, I need to update these worksheets, don't I? She has already spent $5 in text messages this month. If she has a total of $12 that she can spend this month on text messages, what is the greatest number of text messages she can spend? Well, she's already spent 5, and then 20 cents times X for each additional one. It can equal 12 or be less. She can't spend more than $12 a month on her text messaging. So, you could also have written it like 5 plus 0.2x is less than or equal to 12. Or you could put 12 is greater than. You could have said 12 is greater than or equal to 0.2x plus 5. There are a lot of different ways you could write it and it would still be right. But make sure the 12 has the big N and the equation of 5 plus 2/10 x has the little point. Now let's solve that. So 1 point, 1 point, minus 5 is worth a point. Your result, 2/10 x is less than or equal to 7. Divide both sides by 2/10. Those are both each a point. Your result is x is less than or equal to 35. You all know how to divide with decimals, I hope. move it 1. I had to move this 1, so that's how I got 35. Think about how many 20 cents are in $7. There are 35 of them. So what does it mean when you interpret 35 or less text messages? Any questions? All right, now let's go to the next page. In this problem, the error, they did not flip the inequality sign when dividing both sides by a negative number. Everything else is correct. They just forgot to flip the inequality sign. So, and then don't forget to correct it. That's another thing. Sometimes kids will just do one of the two things. This is worth 3 points here. You get, I think it's 2 points in this case for the explanation and then 1 point for correcting. So make sure you do both. You correct it and you explain what the mistake is. Any questions on that? All right. Now on this one here, the first step is A, subtract 18 from both sides. The second step is D, divide by -8. I think the third step should have been you flip your inequality sign, but they didn't have that listed. So then the third step is C, X is greater than, ooh, it's not C, is it? It is E. I had the right answer here, but I put the wrong. It's easy to do. It is E. X is less than -10. Any questions? Now, for those of you that did the bonus problem, it wasn't that hard. You did the distributive property, 3x plus 9 plus 4x plus -8 is greater than or equal to 29. Combine your like terms. 3x plus 4x is 7x. 9 plus -8 is 1. Subtract 1. 7x is greater than or equal to 28. Divide by 7. X is greater than or equal to 4. Any questions?